Welcome everyone on today's Metal3 Community meeting. My name is Adam Rosman and I will be your host today. Today is the 26th of June, 2024. And I think we skipped the introductions, and then please remember that the meeting is recorded. If you want to have the project, then please filter for the help wanted issues. I'm telling these things for the recording. And then 1 second. It might sound better now, because I see that in the chat you are saying I'm breaking a lot.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know if it's me, but you're breaking still like quite a lot for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I mean, you're understandable, but you're like, rattling, or how would you describe it?
Yeah, let me restart my headset. Is it better? Am I audible now?
Yeah, way better now.
1 second, I still have to set up something. No, I should hear you also. Okay. So where was I? Yeah, so if you feel that you want to have the project, then please follow the link or filter for the help wanted issues, and that would be a big help. And then if you feel that your organization would like to add itself as a official adopter of the Metal3 project, that you can do by editing the adopters.md file in the community repository, in the root of the repository. And that would be a big help for us. Just create a PR and then we will review it. If you are experiencing any sort of test failures and you think it's not related to your own change on PR, then you can just assign your pull request to the Metal3 CI tracker project, or rather create an issue and then in the affected repository, and then assign it to the Metal3 CI tracker project. And then we will be able to track that better, and then the CI maintainers will be able to maintain the CI much more efficiently. And then if you are interested in our incubation proposal, then feel free to check that out. This actually have moved in the queue, and we are third in the queue for review. Let's see how this progresses. And then if you are interested about any other statistics or deliverables or whatever related to the project, like the test results, you can follow these links and select which one you are interested in. Then feel free to check those. I won't talk about at the moment about these last two that I just added, because they will be part of the discussion topics. So let's continue with the community working group updates, and then we have something from Mohammed.
Yes, as we talked last week, I think about the progress with this ironic host network class. Last week, I just introduced the node port changes or port there, and this week I have added this load balancer with Metal LB. I built on the same changes I did last time for ironic, and except like instead of using node port service, this time it's load balancer. So there were like no need to map the ports or even configure the ironic endpoint branch. just added the Metal LB to the cluster. Well, it's need to be enabled on Minikube and just applied from the manifest on the target cluster. And then I used the IP address pool, just the same address that we used to use for the Ironic endpoint 172.22.0.2. And yeah, that doesn't even need to be configured on the branch. I'm not quite sure how Metal LB is configuring these addresses when the service is created, but I just confirmed that it works. I pushed that to the branch yesterday. I ran the test there. It failed because one of the, I think it's HTTPD, was looking for an interface with the name ETH2 while it's supposed to be 0. So I'm not quite sure what happened there, but locally it was passing. So I'd like to check more about that and see if there is anything to be improved here. I will probably learn more because I'm not that familiar with Metal LB and how it works. I'll check like what kind of configuration it does on the provisioning network and see how the traffic is now going and coming from Ironic, and probably we'll discuss that more on the open discussion there on BMO. And thinking about the next step, I was not sure if we need this meta CNI for more books or more IDs to test or to check, or should we just think about how we should now adopt like the other Ironic protocols, I mean Pixie, and how to solve the issue with DNS mask. Yeah, that's what I want to introduce here. If you have any comments about that.
And anyone? Any question related to this? I have one. Do you remember? Oh, it's actually just found the answer to my question. So you are using the add to feature of the Metal LB. This I always ARP or not ARP, something with the letter A, right?
Yeah.
This, yeah. Yeah, I used this a long time ago, but I used this Metal LB once.
Yeah, it seems working as it expected. It doesn't need many configuration, but still need to check more what kind of configuration it does to the network there.
Yeah, I don't think it does much, especially if you use this layer 2 stuff. It just listens to this ARP packet or whatever it's called when the router tries to figure out where is this IP, or not IP, but what interface has this IP or something like that, and then it just answers that. So every node should have a listener that listens to this, and then they would just answer.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think you will find like routing tables or whatever, because this is kind of the key here, if I remember correctly, with this balance, this mode. I think there is also the BGP, which is a different way of operating it. I have never used that. I also use this L2. But the kind of, if I remember correctly, like the drawback of this is if you are in a DHCP-less environment, I'm not sure we can use, I mean, in an environment where we don't have any control over the layer 2 stuff. But yeah, anyways, it's good that you demonstrated another way of doing this. I would be actually interested if that BGP stuff is applicable for us or not. I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, we can experiment with that as well. Won't be like big change here.
Yeah, but good job, Mohammed. Now we already have two different ways of detaching from the host network namespace. Anyone else? Any question? If nothing, then we can continue. Is there anyone from the release team? There were releases this week on Monday, if I remember correctly. I have to check what was released if there are no one who would help me out.
Yeah, CAPM3 171 and 162, I believe.
And that was also IPAM stuff, right? Okay.
IPAM stuff was last week, but I don't remember which day.
Yeah. Yes. So I'm not
okay. IPAM, yeah, IPAM has also 171.
Yeah.
And
163.
Yep, 2 days ago, both.
And what was the CAPM3?
Same.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Or let's check 171 at least, and then where is it? Oh, we didn't yet. Oh yeah, we are waiting for some bump for the 162 to come out.
Nice. Quite a lot of patch releases. Cool. Cool. I think there's not much to really add about this. Those are just patch releases. I think we can continue on to the discussion topics, and the first one is from you, Tomo.
Yeah, I mean that is part of the next topic, so I can actually move it there. Since you added it, it's not a remarkable topic on its own.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
yeah, I can describe the generic stuff, and then you can then talk about this security thing, if it's okay for you.
Yep.
Yeah, so there have been multiple discussions about changes to the incubation proposal template and incubation requirements from CNCF side. So since we have entered, or since we have submitted our incubation proposal, there have been changes and new requirements. There were discussions behind the scenes about what should we do. Should we wait for the CNCF TOC to reach out for us, or will we be handled differently because we submitted it earlier? But recently, Tomo noticed that projects that have submitted proposals about around the same time as us, or more than a year ago, or something like that, quite old stuff, they were rejected based on the new grounds, based on the new rules. So 3 of us kind of got together and started discussing that what can we do proactively to not end up in the same situation, because it would delay our incubation process quite a lot if we would get a rejection. So we went through the new refreshed requirement list, and these are the things that I pasted here that came up. And these are not everything here is like a completely missing thing, but we had them partially, or we had references, or we only have mentioned it in the proposal, but we don't actually have it in our repository. So most of them, almost all of them, are governance related things. So we have to better or more rather improve our governance documents. In terms of, we have to explain that how maintainers are onboarded, how CI maintainers, regular maintainers, security people, and release team, how all of these team and team members are onboarded. And then we have to extend the letter documentation, like the contribution letter documentation about our meetups and our roadmap. The roadmap is one of the biggest, or I would say the biggest governance topic that we are missing. And we actually had the roadmap, but it was, I think, invisible for most of us, because it was a previous type of roadmap on GitHub, and for example, for me it was never visible, and now Kashif took it out from this weird state of not showing up for people and so on, and now it is visible, but we will have to discuss that, and I think there will be a lot of iteration that how will this roadmap be managed. But there is a new group a new group, or actually an old group, but it's refreshed, and we removed the old members who are not anymore active on the project, who are already for a long time have been put to emeritus approvers and so on, so they are all officially out of the project for a long time, and then moved in new people, and that is this roadmap editors group, and basically the same people who usually are active on this meeting and active in the architecture discussions and so on, and these people will be able to edit this GitHub project page, and also all the maintainers, but the two group overlap. And then, yeah, I hope we can discuss a little bit today, but it will be an ongoing discussion. And then, yeah, I mentioned the onboarding, and then, yeah, we also proposed and propose it right now that if any of the task specific groups would become completely inactive, so let's say all the release team members would one day stand up and leave the project, then the maintainers would still be able to offboard and onboard people into those groups, and that would be a generic rule for all the groups. Then this is something that even I think very few project members are familiar with. I only started to get involved with this a few weeks ago, that how can we interact with CNCF, because this was something that's not documented and it's not that straightforward, that how can you request new like compute resources, where can you report an issue related to a CNCF resource and so on, and that CNCF actually has a service desk, and maintainers actually have a separate CNCF mailing list. So all these things have to be documented, because if new maintainers will come, they will probably not know about any of these things, or there is a chance of that, and it's also a requirement, all of these. And then we we were kind of debating this one, that the maintainers have to be listed. Of course, we have all the owners file and the all owners file and the community repository, but it wasn't clear for us from the CNCF TOC document that what does this mean? Is it enough if just names and GitHub handles are present as or is it enough if we just have the maintainers registered, or what should we do? And then we agreed that we will copy the same page from the incubation proposal that has the names and affiliations and IDs, and we will even add probably the email addresses, the publicly like listed email addresses of all those people to have a proper contact page. Yeah, it is an optional thing, but I will take this, that we should integrate with the CNCF calendar. If you are subscribed or use the CNCF calendar, you probably have received all like this bulk invites when they just send you like all the CAPI projects and bunch of different projects just sends you this, I don't know, like 20 invites or 30 invites. So we would need to join that system also. That basically we would send out the invites and be part of the calendar. Yeah, I will check that what options are available there. And then two-factor authentication enforcements. That's also something that's that's already in place by GitHub for maintainers of the GitHub project, but not for no one else. And then we would need to find a way to enforce this. Which just means that when you interact with your own, if I remember correctly, but correct me if I'm wrong, that when you interact with your own account, and then you would need to have this GitHub two-factor enabled. So, and that would be required from everyone who is contributing to our project. And then, yeah, and there is the OpenSSF that Tomo will talk about the badge.
Yeah, so this was needed to be enabled for the incubation and enabled at the organization level. So we did this today with Kashif, and then I feel this is a kind of self-assessment. I mean, it can detect some of the stuff on its own, but it basically relies on the maintainers for doing this kind of self-evaluation. And it seems that our improvements in the past year has got us into a point that we get the passing grade, meaning that we meet the expectations on all of the must items. We have some suggested or should level criteria that we do not fulfill, but those do not lower our score. So we passed this, and then I also took the time to fill out the separate questionnaire for the silver and gold, and there we are 67% done and 48% done or something like that. So, but it's much more work to actually get those. But the passing grade is required for the incubation, so that has to do for now. So please take a look at the questions if you're interested, and my answers, and if you feel that something is wrong or something, then let me know, or at least some of you might actually have edit access as well, because it automatically integrates with the organization member lists, but I'm not sure who can edit, so maybe it's better to just ping me in case you find something. Yeah, and going forward, there are certainly some items that I will create issues about to track the work, but that comes somewhere down the line. Let's take the holidays first and get us incubating or something like that. And just as a really quick summary, that passing grade plus 67% of sea level gives a score of 167%, which puts us in top 250 projects out of 7,000 something. So it's not a bad score anyways.
Thanks, Tomo. Yeah, that's very good to hear. Yeah, it's I was a bit first when I heard that we need this to pass, I was a bit afraid, but then it was good that actually we were already on this level. Okay, there is another thing. Then if are there any questions so far? If not, then I will talk about the roadmap. And thanks, Ricardo, for sending this two-factor authentication enforcement document. I will check, and I think I won't enable this today, but we would need to give the community some time. I think I don't know how much should we give, a week or two. It shouldn't be too complicated to enable. And I think many of the contributors, regular contributors, are anyhow managing repositories and have this enabled. But let's see. Okay, and then there is the other topic of the roadmap and the roadmap editors. I want to show, yeah, this is the roadmap editors. I think I showed it for a moment before, but that's not that interesting. The more interesting is this old roadmap document. It was very out of date on this roadmap project. It was in a format that wasn't compliant with the current GitHub, so Kashif had to manually trigger this sort of migration. And what I think is that I will keep the old stuff that was there. I will just keep it. I will. That's my plan. Is that the structure of this would look like we have a backlog. When we triage and accept something, we would put it in backlog, and then if someone starts working on it and it has no requirement to land in XYZ release of our repositories, then we would just put it into the generic. And if it would be done, then you can move it to the next upcoming release, that this was part of this release, and that's it. But while you are working on it, it can live in these generic columns. And then if something is basically a blocker for the release, then from backlog that would instantly go in under the specific release, so like the BMO version 6.2 or whatever, and then until those are not fulfilled, we can do the release. So those would act as blockers. That would be my first idea, to show a roadmap, because then people understand that, yeah, there are still like 2 or 3 green stuff here that are still being reviewed. So there is still no release. But then if everything is this purple and closed, then release will happen, even if there are other work going on in this generic stuff. And then also would separate out these feature proposals and documents. So these are stuff that go into the MetaCube docs and community and these places, because that's not really affecting releases per se. Those are ideas that we accept or deny. And then that's basically how I would put this one. And what is your opinion about that? I think it's very simple. I don't want to complicate this one. And then, of course, I will fill this up with the task. So I will go through the standing issues and put them into this backlog or into the generics and so on, and create new release columns. We would have quite a lot of columns as we continue with the work and new stuff, new releases come. But I think it's fine because we would just keep the recent ones here, and the other ones would be just history. They would be just in the back, and then you can scroll freely between them.
Then can you hear me?
Yeah.
So I just like to add that the main idea for now is to just populate this roadmap.
Yeah.
How and we are going to benefit from that, or if you want to change the process or columns, we can of course decide during the process. But the most important thing for now and also for the incubation process is to actually have all the stuffs that we have decided in the meetups, team meetups. I mean, then just have those things here. And later on, probably we can also use, I've seen in some projects, they use these milestones for the releases. Probably we can incorporate those things as well with this.
Yep. I agree. I agree completely with you, Kashif. I might even start using the milestones right now because this shows up as status, which is quite weird for the. Yeah, I will try to make this use milestones from the beginning.
Yeah, +1 for milestones. That would actually give us some kind of idea when stuff is supposed to be happening. I mean, we are working on a best effort anyway, but planning is never bad.
Yep. Okay, if there are no other comments, then I will just continue with it. Anyways, we will discuss this. But as Kashif said, the main thing is to have content in it. And then let's see the triage stuff. I see from Tomo there is. Oh, you were assigned to this. Okay.
Yeah, these are really weird issues. These two resources, GitHub com links, because they have never been in any of the Metal3 repos, but the broken link checker found them, and so I have no idea where they're coming from. But eventually, I was investigating these broken links, and the maintainer of our broken link GitHub action actually has made a new version of it, which uses headless Chrome, which then at least fixes some of the false positives on the broken links, like the ones that are actually rendered out with the different content or the different URL. So yeah, I will probably be working on that at some point to replace the current one, so we get rid of some of these. But these two GitHub links, I have no idea where they came from, but hopefully they also get fixed. They have now appeared twice, so it's not happening every time, but randomly.
Should I put this? Should I accept this or you assign it to yourself? Yeah, I will accept it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I need to change the title to be more descriptive, but yeah, it needs to be fixed.
Okay. Yes, 24. Yep, I think that's like makes sense to start supporting the new Ubuntu.
Yeah, officially the 24.04.1 comes out in October, so until then it is usually not people that don't upgrade to, so we have some time to implement that.
The next one was invalid. And this is going to stay. Okay, I think we haven't really had many issues here. That was all of the needs triage. I'm usually checking the stairs where I'm involved. Flakes can go to stale. Provided the note. Yeah, no communication on this one. They're all. This is interesting. This. Oh, okay. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, this will go to frozen because I remember this discussion. These stuff that were created for the KubeCon are all going into stale and creating a bunch of notifications because they were all created on March 20th. Quickly, I will clean this up. Bear with me. And I think the Pro is lagging behind. But let's see, it should remove this eventually. Unless there is some weirdness going on.
Yeah,
Right.
Browse has been weird today. It has been skipping some commands.
Yeah, that was exactly what I experienced, when I mentioned that it was skipping for override for me, and then it was then retroactively reacting to it. It was weird. Yeah, probably just too many requests or something like that. Who knows? Okay. Is there any question, comment, anything related to the project, roadmap, anything we should discuss? Okay, if nothing else, then thanks for your time and your patience, and let's meet next week and continue the discussion about the incubation mainly. I hope.
Thank you.
Yeah. See
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, bye.
Thank you, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, bye-bye.